speakers for today. From Crete, Nebraska, we have Ann and Steve Teget. Did I get that right? Okay, very good. I'm really excited to hear what they've got to say. They are travel bloggers, and I've been intrigued for a long time about blogs and how you build maybe a readership and possible ways to monetize that. And they do some really cool traveling at the same time. And so I'm delighted to introduce them. You have them to thank for the delicious kolaches and Mexican pastries from Crete. They are outstanding, so if you haven't had them, migrate back and travel. With that, I'll turn it over to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Kind of weird to talk through a microphone that's not mine, but this will be good for our video. Yes.
You only have
You
one
want to test
on at a
that?
time. Yeah, it's only one channel at a time, so.
Okay, so
I'll turn
show you
mine
guys
off.
off. Okay.
Sorry.
That's
okay.
And then when we do the Q&A, we can always pass this stuff if we want
Yeah.
to. So we thought we would start by just talking a little bit about how we got started in blogging. This was neither of our ideal careers or career path. We actually went on very different courses. My college experience, I earned a degree in journalism from the University of Nebraska-Kearney and had my dream of being a sports writer. I did that for a few years. I worked in newspaper and then moved to Lincoln when I was in my mid-20s and spent almost about 19 years working for Time Warner Cable here in Lincoln. Does anybody remember the Navigator launch? No? Yes? How could you forget? I was the PR person for Time Warner, so I did public affairs and communications. I managed our local programming channels, and then the last 4 years of my career worked for our corporate office in Washington, D.C. as Vice President of Government Relations. Those last few years I was traveling a lot. I think I put about 45,000 miles on my car in a year, traveling between Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska and Washington, D.C. And it was about 4 years ago that I started to become very sick. And after a lot of tests and scans and time both with doctors here in Lincoln and then at the Mayo Clinic, I was diagnosed with a serious chronic illness called sarcoidosis. Most people have it in their lungs. I had it in my heart. And so it causes my immune system to be very high, and my cells actually fight each other and destroy organs or tissues in my joints. So I ended up having to leave my career at Time Warner Cable, which was not in my game plan at all. I planned on a long career in this industry until retirement. But as I was starting to heal, and in between, I think I had 5 surgeries in 17 months, we started thinking a lot about, when you have an illness like that, what is it that you want to do with your time on this earth? And I kind of knew it wasn't traveling to the Kansas legislature every week. So we started just, thinking about what are we passionate about. And at the time, we'd been married a few years, and we always loved traveling. We always loved coming back from a trip and sharing our experiences with other people. And people started to come to us and ask about travel. So we decided to, for me, I needed a creative outlet when I was sitting home recovering from surgery. And so we started to do a blog and just sort of writing about some of our travel experiences and giving people insights if they would go to certain places. We actually drafted our first blog post from the DoubleTree Hotel in Rochester, Minnesota, while we were waiting, I think, over a weekend for another scan on Monday. And it just sort of started from there, and we'll talk a little bit more about how that grew. But I wanted you to hear a little bit about my career background and how we got into blogging.
And then I went to college, had a major in Spanish anthropology, no idea what I wanted to do. Had a chance to go be a teacher in Mississippi for 2 years while I figured it out. That 2-year experience with a free master's degree turned into a career in education. And I wound up moving to Crete about 15 years ago. I taught Spanish for 3 years, moved into administration. I spent the last 7 years then as the middle school principal in Crete. And when we were sort of going through all of this with Ann and her health, you begin to put things into perspective as to what's important. And when Charter bought Time Warner, and had the opportunity to take her pension and retire, take that retirement. And so then sort of some bills were going to be paid for, so then we really kind of looked into what is it we want to do with our time and with our lives. And we really thought, you know, we've had these opportunities that are being presented to us as we write on our blog. We've had destinations contact us and say, we'd love to have you come, we'd love to host you, put you out, give you meals, give you admissions to places if you know, and then write about it. But we couldn't because I was a middle school principal and I was free for about 3.5 weeks in July and 2 weeks at Christmas and a couple of days otherwise here and there throughout the year. And so we really didn't have those opportunities. And so we decided after a lot of prayer and after a lot of consultation with pastors and just consideration to take a leap, and felt like it was the right thing to do. So I quit my job, and it was kind of a scary thing to do, but it has been wonderful and I haven't looked back.
So that was last summer.
That Steve was done with his career, or at least for now, in public education. We decided to spend the first 6 months, July through December or so, January of this year, really just doing a little soul searching, spending some time with our families, with our parents. We took all of our parents on trips. We took my mom out to Oregon to see the Oregon-Nebraska football game and spent some time in wine country out there. Oregon was very nice. And then we took Steve's mom and dad, who live in Iowa, all through the Nebraska Sandhills. And then last fall, we took both of our moms to Pawhuska, Oklahoma, to see the Pioneer Women's Mercantile and eat chicken fried steak there. But we spent a lot of time with our parents and just trying to get some things in order and blogging along the way. Since then, we've started to explore a lot of different business avenues, which we'll get into and answer questions for. But to tell you a little bit about Postcard Jar, and I'll pass this jar around, or maybe Steve can pass this around. This is a postcard jar similar to one that we have at home.
Business card in this?
And basically, when we started traveling together, we really didn't need any more stuff for our house. But we always like to have a little memory of the places we visit. So instead of buying a lot of souvenirs or t-shirts or whatever, we would just get a postcard. We would write a little bit about the place that we visited, what we liked, where we stayed, what we ate, who we met. And then we would mail them home to ourselves. And we display our postcards. We have, I don't know, hundreds of postcards now, in a big jar that we set in our foyer. So today for the drawing, we thought if you want to put your business card or jot your name on a piece of paper, we will draw one at the end of our presentation, and the winner will get to take home their own postcard jar and start one for their travels. But that's kind of where the name came, Postcard Jar. Our blog is really about experiences. We don't do a lot of hotel or destination reviews. Exactly, we write more about why we went somewhere, what we experienced there, who we met. It's a little more
How you feel with
how you feel when you are somewhere. So our biggest compliment is when someone says, I want to go there and you've shown me this place through your eyes and I feel like I was there. We love it when people say that. Our biggest goal as travel bloggers is really just to inspire people to get out, to try something new, and to see the world around them and experience it. They're growing up in southeast Nebraska. We realized that a lot of people, when they go on vacation, they would go to Kansas City, they would go to Denver, or maybe they'd venture out to the Mall of America in Minneapolis. But a lot of our close friends weren't venturing out very far from that parameter. And so we wanted to show people that there are great places to see right in our own state, and many, many that we've been to in the last couple years that even growing up here we'd never seen, as well as traveling around the world. So our scope is not location specific. We travel all over the world, and we write about unique destinations and what we learn places and how they made us feel.
So our blog has sort of grown, and it's all been basically organic growth. We haven't really paid for a lot of promotion on Facebook or anything. But we're up to about 3,200 page likes on Facebook, and a few more than that follow us. And we're starting to see a lot more come now from search engines. We've worked on that to bring people in. As we've grown this, we've had to sort of learn about a lot of different business aspects that come with it. For instance, we had a great idea, hey, let's sell postcards. In fact, last year when the eclipse was in Crete, we made eclipse postcards because the post office did a special cancellation stamp. But that meant, of course, then keeping track of sales tax and, oh my goodness. So as business owners, you understand how complicated and how confusing that can be. So.
We've looked at some other business avenues as well, like affiliate marketing, which we have not done on our site yet, but it is something we are looking into. We've also done a lot of public speaking, and that we are also doing consulting now on social media. One thing that we realize is a lot of small business owners are just spinning their wheels trying to keep their business going and sell their products and services, and they don't always have time or actually enjoy the social media aspect that can really take their business to a new level. So we've also started doing some consulting on social media. Actually, are going to be leaving for Kearney next week to do a presentation at the Plain Safari Conference on social media in tourism specifically. But for us, as we've looked at all of the business ways that we can monetize our blog, the real thing that we need extra money for now is just the travel. So we've really focused on just writing about the things that we like and enjoy, not taking every opportunity that presents itself to us, which as new business owners is very difficult because it's very enticing to just do this or do that. If that, we can make a buck here or make a buck there. But try and stay with what we're passionate about and what we enjoy doing, because we left good paying careers to do what we're passionate about. So we don't want to deviate from that. And as we've done that and really sort of sat back and allowed things to come to us and pick the things that are really amazing, it's just been awesome. We actually planned a trip 2 years ago to go to Italy and Greece this summer for 10 days. And we were in a Facebook group about a couple months ago talking about going to Italy and asking for a couple recommendations in places. And out of the blue, we got an email from a small tour company that said, I've read your blog. We love the way you go back and forth as husband and wife. Really enjoyed reading a blog post you wrote from Waco, Texas about the Magnolia Market. And we would love to invite you to come to Italy early and spend 5 days. And we would like to host you on some tours of wine country and take you to the Prosecco region and a foodie tour and an olive oil tour and take you into someone's house for cooking classes. And we said, this is exactly why we do this. And these are exactly the type of opportunities that we want. So we're going to be going to Italy early and actually spending about a month there this summer, and much of that will be hosted. So we're starting to see some opportunities come our way, and just trying to stay really focused on taking things that we're really passionate about.
Another place that we have really gotten involved with a lot recently is Pawhuska, Oklahoma, which if you follow the Food Network at all, you know that's the home of Reed Drummond and the Pioneer Woodman Mercantile.
Have you heard of this place?
Yeah, have you heard of this? Yeah, so it's, she has a show on the Food Network, and she Life on the Ranch, and we were going last summer down to Texas for something, and we stopped in Pawhuska for less than 24 hours. We wrote a couple blog posts about it that apparently people liked down there, because we were sitting in our office in early September and we got an email, would we come and judge the National Indian Taco Championship in Pawhuska, because we are looking for celebrity judges, they said. And I remember Ann called and she told the lady of the chamber, now you know we're not really celebrities, right? And she said, well, y'all are to us. And so we went down early and we fell in love with that little small town, and there's just a ton to do down there. And one of the things we have learned is no matter where you go, there's a lot to do. And small towns can have some fantastic opportunities as well. So.
Our time in Pawhuska has also been a good lesson in just networking. So what all of you are doing today, I mean, it's just amazing. You never know who you're going to meet and what connections they're going to have, or what opportunities might be in store because of that relationship. when we were in Pawhuska last week, we just stopped there for a couple days for their Chamber of Commerce Gala, and we happened to be at the Pioneer Women's new boarding house, walking by outside, and just peeked our heads in and asked if we could get a little tour, and ended up meeting the head, one of the marketing people for the website. They brought us in, gave us a tour, and then actually gave us permission to do a blog post about the boarding house before any other media or bloggers. So
24 hours ahead of People Magazine.
yeah, People was there the day after us. But it was, those are the types of relationships and opportunities that don't happen when you sit in your office. And so I think networking has been a huge lesson for us. We've also learned a lot about just creating a website, I want to go to this WordPress seminar, because a lot of what we've learned on WordPress has really been self-taught or through a couple word camps that we've attended in Omaha. But great opportunities just to learn something totally different and learn a little bit about HTML and learn about SEO and how to tag our pictures and how to engage people in social media. Those have been great lessons that we've learned along the way. So if there are questions that we can answer about that, there are a few little tips and tricks that maybe we can help you with.
So, what the future holds for us, I guess that is, we're not exactly sure, but we hope it holds more travel. We hope it holds more opportunities with maybe some other destinations, kind of like what we have coming up in Italy. And then who knows what other opportunities might come our way. And that's one of the things that we're kind of, like Ann said, pursuing our passion and then seeing what comes our way. And things are beginning to fall into place.
So we'd love to open it up for questions now, and feel free to ask us if you have questions about travel or destinations or blogging or WordPress or social media. We're open to anything. Yes?
So it's like the obvious thing to me is I would fall into how do you not say the same thing over and over? How do you come up with creative ways to say, at every restaurant?
We don't do a lot of, this is a great restaurant. We don't do a lot of restaurant or hotel reviews at all. Our blog is more about our experiences, why we went somewhere, who we met, very specific things. So we don't do a ton of.
What do you do to keep it fresh? I mean,
honestly,
you have ways of saying things. You say things the same way every time. How do you keep it fresh?
I think part of it is the destinations, going different places. So we will write about a cruise in the Caribbean or a very luxurious, time in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And then the next week we will be making peanut butter sandwiches while driving down the road near Valentine, Nebraska. So I think part of what keeps our readers coming back is what are we going to do next? And we're very unpredictable. I mean, I think our readers will say, it's amazing to us what our readers actually enjoy seeing. One of our highest viewed videos of the year was not the cruise ship docking or going through where was that, in Copenhagen, in the what's that called?
Which one are you talking about?
When the ship was coming through the.
Oh yeah, under a bridge in Copenhagen. Yeah, there was we sailed under this huge bridge, and we were on a cruise ship in Copenhagen, Denmark. We posted a video of that, and it had basically nobody really cared. But then at Thanksgiving, we did a video of Ann making gravy in our kitchen on a Facebook Live, and it was one of our highest viewed things.
Or the video of when it was 16 below. We took boiling water and took it outside and threw it in the air. 10,000 views or something.
That was us, and we got like 10,000 views, and it was crazy, and it was. We aren't even anywhere. We're just in Crete, Nebraska, but people are fascinated by that. So it's as much of where we're traveling as just sort of a glimpse into our lives and building a relationship, an authentic relationship with our readers that has sort of helped grow this organically. We have a lady in Ohio who comments on everything we do. She just loves it. So it's great. We feel like we know her.
Yeah, I think authentic relationship is probably the thing that has helped our blog the most. And it's responding to people, calling them by name, the last time when we traveled to Texas a few weeks ago, we said we're going to Texas and we're not telling you where we're going, but if you'd like us to send you a postcard, send us a private message. And we sent out lots of postcards to our readers. And so it just developing a connection with the people who follow your blog or your business is really important. Finding something that you have in common. Other questions, Steve?
Yeah, before you started writing, did you sit down and really decide what kind of a voice you wanted to use in your writing? And evidently you guys have some back and forth between you as a husband and wife that comes through in the blog. Did it just evolve over time, or did you kind of have a strategy from day one?
I think our strategy was to be authentic. And so our blog, when you read a blog post from us, it sounds a lot like the way we speak. Although we are probably trying to be a little more funny in our blog. One thing that I think, we're not doing a like comedy show here today, but we try and just evoke humor. You know, as I go through social media and I'm reading about politics and war and destruction and who did this and who did that, I want a little entertainment. So I think we wanted our blog to be very authentic. We shared the good, the bad, the funny, the ugly, the dumb mistakes. I mean, we kind of share it all. So I think it's just who we are, and I think that's helped us really connect with people, and especially with destinations, because they know that we're going to be authentic, that we're not just going to say this is a great meal. We're going to actually talk about what we liked or what we didn't like.
You know, we've talked about everything from the cleanest little salt and pepper shakers in Valentine, Nebraska, the fact that we found clean salt and pepper shakers in Valentine, Nebraska. But, you know, it just those little things. There are some times that we'll sit down and talk, you know, about like that Magnolia Market post. We said, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we wrote this post back and forth? Because really, as we were in the store, Ann was, you know, here we are in Joanna Gaines's amazing Magnolia Market, and Ann is going to look at these beautiful home decor things, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. You know, so we wrote a post kind of along those lines, and so it was good. It's actually a very impressive store, don't get me wrong, but we just kind of follow along that way.
If, do you guys make recommendations? Say, for instance, if I had a specific trip that I wanted to go on, and could I like contact you and say, hey, we're going to go to this? What's the best way to get there? Who to use to maybe book the travel, that type of stuff? You make comments like that?
Yeah, we've done this for years, just for friends and family. And then once we started the blog, people would contact us and say, oh, I see you just went to Alaska. We're thinking about going. What cruise line do you recommend? What kind of room? Da da da. What should we do for excursions? And we were starting to just do this, you know, just for free, because that's the goal, right? We want people to travel and have great travel experiences. But then it started getting to where we were getting things every single day. So we do have a rate set up now where we'll sit down with you for an hour and you can talk to us about your destination and what you want to do. And then we have some pretty moderate hourly rates to help you put a plan together. We are not travel agents, so we don't book travel. We don't, sell. We don't have any allegiances to any hotel chains or airlines and things. But we are happy to help you put a plan together if it's someplace we've been and know well. We will not typically do recommendations for places we have never been, because we just
wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, but if it's someplace we went, absolutely.
Okay.
Just as a follow-up to that, how do you create a revenue stream?
Well, that's one. So just consulting is a revenue stream. Advertising on our blog will be affiliate marketing. So, for instance, if we write about a new Samsonite suitcase that we love, which we love, our Samsonite suitcase, and we do not get a dime from them. But there are revenue streams where we can put links to, like Amazon or other product links where we can get revenue. We have not done that yet because we don't want our site to be overloaded with that. So right now, the revenue that we need is to pay for travel. And so we're just working on partnerships that way right now. But it's obviously an opportunity for us.
You mentioned a few SEO tips and tricks. Would you be willing to share a few best practices?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are still learning best practices. In fact, last weekend here's one we just learned last weekend. The file name of your picture, when you get ready to upload it to your website, don't upload it with the img157423.png, but actually name it something that makes sense for what you want people to be searching for. Didn't even think about that.
Well, we thought about it, but we thought we were fixing it by changing the title. So when you go into WordPress and you're loading a photo, and let's say that we have a photograph from the Pioneer Women Mercantile, we were titling that, chicken fried steak at the Mercantile. But you also have to think about how are people going to, what are they going to search for in a Google search to get to your site? So if what people are going to search for is things to do in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, then that's what you want that file name to be, if that's going to get them there. One simple change that we made that has helped a ton, and it's with this Pawhuska thing, when we did our blog post about 70 things to do in Pawhuska, we wanted to make it easy to tell people about it, and we did little business cards that some of our businesses that we worked with hand out. And so we changed the URL, and that's another SEO thing, make sure your URL is something searchable. But we changed it to Postcard Jar /Pawhuska. However, we weren't getting a lot of traffic through Google searches with that. But when we went in and changed it to 70 things to do in Pawhuska, now all of a sudden I think we had 93 this morning for people searching for things to do in Pawhuska that get them to our website. So changing the URL in your WordPress site, so the way our WordPress site is set up, the headline of your blog post becomes the URL. So if we do a blog post on 10 fun things to do on Carnival cruises, then that's what the URL for that post is. But you can go in and edit that and have it be something very specific, like what cruise line is the best, or is Carnival Cruise fun, or whatever it is that you think people are going to search for. And doing some research on what are those searchable phrases will also really help. Are those new to you? Are those? Yeah, good. Yes.
Without doing any advertising, how did you get so many likes on your fan page?
We call it like farming.
Yeah.
So anytime, when you can invite people that like something. So I think the thing with Facebook is being consistent, having at least one post a day, and also developing a brand. I think since we have started branding ourselves with a certain color scheme, a certain font, a certain voice, we've gotten more and more followers. So because people see it coming down their news feed, and they know immediately that something's from Postcard Jar. If you look at our Facebook page today, and it's just at Postcard Jar.
Please like it.
Yeah. Please like it. Yeah. Talk to people. Ask. One thing is just ask people. Like when you're at Thanksgiving, ask people to like your page. Please check it out, like it, follow it, see it first. But one thing that we've done is try and engage our followers. So there are a lot of Facebook pages that I follow that I just sort of follow and I look at and I don't like, I don't comment, I don't share. And if you only look at it, it doesn't grow. So you have to engage your followers. One thing that's been really successful for us is like something we did this morning is just asking a question, but not doing it in the text, actually having a graphic. So today we posted, I don't know,
It's a picture of.
it's like a little graphic, and we always use, we have 5 colors that we use and 1 font, and it looks the same every week. We typically do them on Thursdays because that's a good day for our follower engagement, but we always ask a question. So today's is, what's your favorite travel related book? And then it gets people talking and sharing with each other. And then a lot of our followers engage with other people. And they sort of get to know each other. There was a couple that we met on a cruise 2 years ago in the Baltic Sea. And I feel like we're like best friends with these people now. We talk all the time. They engage in our Facebook page. We told them we're going on another cruise this summer in Italy and Greece. And they actually booked the same cruise so we could travel together again. So, yeah. They're great people. So, but I think just engaging people in your Facebook page, answering questions, asking, talking to people by name, thanking them for their feedback, and then connecting your followers is another good thing.
And another thing that we've done and is to ask people questions. So when they make a comment, oh my gosh, I love whatever, or what you love about it. And so you ask them another question, and that generates another comment, because at the core of all this is the way Facebook works. And if nobody likes, comments, or shares on your post, it dies. And Facebook will not serve it to anyone. So you have to get people to like it. It's something else, I will do this. You'll see that probably the first person to like almost every one of our posts is me. So Postcard Jar posts something, Steve Teget likes it because it gives it a like immediately. And that's a trick that Facebook maybe hasn't learned yet, but it's an immediate like, and so it begins to send it out further. And the more people that like or comment, then their friends have a chance to see it and go back through and look at who's liked a post. And if you do that, there's a button that comes up. If they've never liked your page or you haven't invited them yet, you get to invite them one time. So hit invite, and then it says Postcard Jar invited you to like their page, and they might like it, and then you pick up a like that way.
But I think the real thing, asking people questions it's just building relationships with your followers and making them see you as a person and not a website, or not just, you're not a logo, that your brand is how you communicate with people and how you interact with them. So the engagement is probably one of the things I think we're best at. As you're looking at Facebook data, you're looking at your insights. Does everybody know where your insights are? You look at your insights, who liked you, who's following, how many likes, shares. We do not pay much attention to how many likes we have or page followers, but we do pay attention to our engagement, and we gauge it in reference to other people that do what we do. So you can set up your Facebook Insights to look at your service provider competitors or other people that do what you do. So we look at what other travel bloggers are doing, or what Nebraska Tourism or some CVBs or travel agencies do, and then when they have a spike in engagement, we go to their page and we say, what did they do? Now, if it's something that's totally irrelevant to us and it's not authentic for us to do, we're not going to do it. But sometimes you get good ideas for things to do on social media that way as well.
Yes.
Last question.
I have a very practical question, which is interesting. But being freelance and being, independent, and with there's certain health issues, how do you go about health insurance or think about retirement? The practical side of doing what you do.
That's the hardest part. Health insurance is probably our biggest hurdle, and will be the deciding factor on whether we can keep doing this or one of us needs to go back and have a job that provides health insurance. Right now, we've been fortunate to be on COBRA through the school, so we're paying very high rates for COBRA, but that will be ending in next January. So we are looking at other independent insurance policies for that. Retirement, we are both very fortunate that we started saving for retirement at 21 years old, and we had no debt. We are actually firm followers of the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. Oh, I see we have some other FPU fans. But we actually teach the class now. So we've just lived a life that did not include debt. So when we got married 6 years ago, we both had paid off houses, could buy a house together without having to have a mortgage. And so,
Selling those.
by selling those houses. And so that has allowed us, being debt-free was probably the biggest reason that we could do what we're doing. So we can live on peanut butter and jelly if we need to, and not have beans and rice and beans, yeah. So that's a little bit that's probably been a blessing to us. And then with my company being sold, I was offered my pension, in my 40s now instead of at 65. So that was a huge blessing as well.
All right, well, thank you guys both very much. As a thank you, we'd like to give you each a Focus Sweets coffee mug. Thank you. Hopefully you'll write about that on your blog.
Are you okay if we take a picture of this group? Because we want to share that with our, okay. Sorry.
Oh, you have to do your drawing, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do our drawing.
Get a picture and I'll get
Okay.
the jar.
I'm never
camera shy.
This
Can you see me? You sure?
All right.
That'll work. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's turn around. So the winner gets this postcard jar, and I hope you will fill it. Travel, even if it's only half an hour for the road.
Wait, before you,
Does everybody got
does
it?
anybody else want to put a card in?
Okay, bring it up.
I just realized, oh my gosh, we might have missed somebody.
There are Nebraska postcards and business cards on all the chairs. If you would like, if you want to take one and give it to somebody who you think might like travel, feel free to take those.
There you go.
Okay.
No, not that one. Don't get that one. There you go.
Brad White.
All right, thank you everybody for being here. There is no need to rush off. Hang around as long as you like, talk to one another, exchange those business cards, meet your next business contact, or ask Dan and Steve more questions. Thanks for being here, and I hope you'll return next week.
And please like us on Facebook.